Grand Moff Tarkin informs Grand Admiral Thrawn that his TIE Defender project is at risk, given the rising needs of Krennic's Stardust project. Tarkin, Thrawn, and Krennic meet aboard Grand Admiral Savit's flagship, the ISD Fire Drake, to discuss priorities. Krennic informs the Council that they are having issues with Grolics attacking electrical equipment at transfer points, and even devouring whole freighters. The Emperor, in hologram form, agrees with Tarkin's proposal to restore funding to the TIE Defender project if Thrawn can successfully eliminate the Grolic problem in 1 week. Krennic assigns Lieutenant Ronan to accompany Thrawn and secretly disrupt his efforts. After the meeting, Grand Admiral Savit warns Thrawn that Tarkin seeks to play him and Krennic against one another. Thrawn's forces are unsuccessful in completely driving away the Grolics, but they do manage to bring one aboard for dissection. Aboard the Fire Drake, Grand Admiral Savit discusses the meeting with Moff Havland. Their conversation leads to the two beginning to question the mysterious disappearance of Grand Admiral Thrawn's right-hand man, Eli Vanto. Upon joining the Chiss Expansionary Defense Fleet, Eli Vanto was demoted to lieutenant. Being part of the analysis group, Eli Vanto is tasked to help Admiral Arlani track a damaged ship of interest to the Chiss. From the dissection of the Grolic, Thrawn surmises that the freighters were actually missing and not being eaten by the Grolics. Whilst tracing one of these missing freighters, the crew of the Chimera discover a broken-down space station with the bodies of the missing crews. However, 12 individuals were missing, and even more concerning, they discover evidence that the Grolic attacks were being used to cover up the theft of the freighters. Their continued search proves fruitful as they discover a missing, damaged freighter. However, it ends up being a trap as a cloaked Grisk warship attacks the Chimera. Luckily, Admiral Arlani's forces arrive after tracking the same freighter, and they help the Chimera defeat the Grisk warship. Word of Thrawn's battle reaches Grand Admiral Savit and Krennic, though details are incomplete. Savit vocalizes his support of the TIE Defender project after the recent success against what they believed were pirates. However, after not hearing from Ronan about the battle, Savit activates a spy in Tarkin's office and establishes contact with Gilad Pellaeon of the ISD Harbinger. Among the dead prisoners on the Grisk warship, the Chimera crew finds a young Chiss girl still alive. Thrawn and Arlani conclude that there were other ships nearby that likely escaped, and that 2 of the Grisk prisoners deliberately allowed themselves to be captured to report on the presence of Chiss navigators. Thrawn enlists the help of Eli Vanto to parse through data collected on the missing freighters, despite much skepticism from Ronan regarding Vanto's desertion charges. Vanto, being supervised by Ronan, discover that all of the 28 stolen freighters passed through 3 systems, all of which are in Moff Havland's sector. Ronan connects that Moff Havland had requested Director Krennic funnel materials through her sector. Believing local ISB might be compromised, Thrawn sends Vanto and Ronan undercover to one of the 3 systems to investigate. Meanwhile, Krennic receives Ronan's first report and convinces a reluctant Grand Admiral Savit to send Star Destroyers to 3 of the troubled transfer points. On the surface of Aloxor, Ronan and Vanto meet up with Deja, an agent sent by Colonel Yularen to assist Thrawn. There they learn that Grand Admiral Savit has been a beneficiary of the smuggling operations going on there. To investigate further, they sneak aboard one of the freighters, but the freighter is caught in the tractor beam of the Star Destroyer above. Deja helps Eli Vanto and their 2 undercover Death Troopers escape, while asking Ronan to assume his true identity. Elsewhere, the Chimera falls into another Grisk trap, but are successful in taking out another Grisk ship. Aboard this ship, they find the 12 missing crew, who had been hired to steal Imperial supplies. The rescued crew informed Thrawn and Arlani that the Grisks have been interrogating them about the Empire. Investigating the unsprung traps, Thrawn finds nitrogen bombs ready to destroy all evidence. His team successfully defuse the bombs and set up their own trap for the Grisks. Meanwhile, Eli returns to the Chimera and Thrawn hails Grand Admiral Savit. Savit informs Thrawn that Ronan is in his custody. Thrawn informs Savit that he was sent to investigate the thefts, manipulation, and treasonous activity occurring within Stardust shipping lanes. Savit tells Thrawn that Moff Havland sought Ronan's extradition to her jurisdiction, but agrees instead to meet up with Thrawn. Before meeting with Grand Admiral Savit, Thrawn readies his TIE Defender forces, and Vanto and Arlani return to the Chiss warship Steadfast. Aboard the bridge of the Fire Drake, Savit meets Thrawn with Lieutenant Ronan. There, Thrawn confronts Savit with the evidence of his collusion with smugglers. When Savit denies any wrongdoing, Thrawn shows him encrypted records, the encryption on which was only available to the 12 Grand Admirals of the Imperial Navy. Savit angrily admits that he thought the Stardust project to be a colossal waste of resources, and wanted to redirect those materials to other Imperial projects. Then, the Chimera arrives, confronting the ISD Fire Drake, but also ISD Mist Hunter and ISD Stormbird of Savit's Third Fleet. At the same time, the rescued Chiss girl leads the Steadfast to the Grisk forward base, but they are stopped by Grisk starfighters. The Grisk starfighters retreat, but only after the Steadfast had exhausted most of its defenses. Admiral Ar'alani realizes the Grisks stopped the Steadfast to study its defenses and leave it vulnerable for a second wave. Commodore Farrow of the Chimera sends evidence of Savit's treachery to the Mist Hunter and Stormbird. Grand Admiral Savit orders the Mist Hunter to fire ion cannons upon the Chimera. When Captain Lockery is reluctant, Savit threatens him, saying he is putting the lives of his crew at risk by not obeying his orders. The Chimera, though, successfully counters these ion blasts. Savit, determined to beat Thrawn, orders his TIE fighters to attack the Chimera, which are countered by Thrawn's own TIE fighters. Farrow successfully uses the Chimera's TIE fighters as decoys to lure Savit's TIE fighters to where they can be disabled by exploding proton torpedoes nearby. The disabled TIE fighters then were rescued via tractor beam. Infuriated by Thrawn's outmaneuvering of him, Savit orders the Fire Drake to ready turbo lasers on the Chimera. Savit is informed that 4 of Thrawn's TIE fighters are unaccounted for, and he finds out soon after that they had already disabled the Fire Drake's turbo lasers. Savit hails the Mist Hunter and Stormbird, but his communications are jammed as Thrawn's shuttle was parked over the Fire Drake's short-range transmitter. Grand Admiral Savit learns also that he has lost communication with the Fire Drake's hangar, leaving him effectively isolated on the bridge. He then demands Captain Bulag attack the Chimera, but he refuses the order. Soon after, the Harbinger arrives, and Captain Pelion echoes Commodore Farrow's call for Grand Admiral Savit to submit to a formal inquiry. The captains of the Stormbird and Mist Hunter find the courage to agree, defying their Grand Admiral. Desperate, Savit tries to shoot Thrawn, but Ronan uses his cape to obscure his vision. Savit turns to Ronan, but before he can shoot him, he is stunned by Deja, who takes Savit into ISB custody. Thrawn agrees to testify against Savit, but informs Deja that he still has unfinished business. The Steadfast falls under a second attack by Grisk forces and is significantly battered. There, the navigators confide in Vanto and ask that he kill them rather than let them be captured by the Grisk, to which he reluctantly agrees. However, Thrawn's TIE defenders arrive and turn the tide. After a hard-fought victory, Eli was told that his true purpose with the Chiss was his uncanny ability to identify the strengths of navigators, helping the Chiss with navigator training. When the Chimera arrives later, Thrawn discusses Eli's performance with Admiral Ar'alani, and he is promoted back to the rank of Lieutenant Commander. Later, Tarkin and Krennic meet with Thrawn and Ronan for Ronan's final report. Ronan reports that despite the TIE Defender's success, they failed to eliminate the Grolic problem. Tarkin informs Thrawn that the TIE Defender funds will remain withheld, but may be restored after completion of Project Stardust. Thrawn accepts the outcome, but he warns Tarkin that Stardust could easily be sabotaged and convinces Tarkin request Lord Vader protect the station until its first test. Thrawn then receives news that the situation on Lothal had become critical and he must depart. Following the call, Thrawn confronts Ronan about his displeasure with the Emperor, saying that he will not be able to hide it from Lord Vader should he return to Krennic. Thrawn offers to Ronan a chance to leave the Empire and join the Chiss Expansionary Defense Fleet, to which he reluctantly agrees, now fearing for his life. Thrawn then informs Commodore Farrow that she will be returning to Coruscant for a long overdue promotion and training in her new role as commander of the 11th Fleet. While en route to Lothal, Thrawn is ordered a private audience with Emperor Palpatine. Thrawn and Palpatine discuss Savit's betrayal. After some poignant questioning, Palpatine is able to get Thrawn to admit that he worked with the Chiss, who were operating illegally in Imperial space. Thrawn replies that while he did collude with the Chiss, he believed the Grisks were close to locating Project Stardust. The Emperor seriously questions Thrawn's Imperial loyalties, but says that discussion would have to wait. Palpatine orders that Thrawn construct a chamber aboard the Chimera, made from the remnants of the Jedi Temple on Lothal, and asks Thrawn to lure Ezra to it. Then, once the matter on Lothal was finished, Thrawn was to return to Coruscant for a long, long talk about his loyalty to the Empire. So that's going to do it here for today's video, guys. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this recap. If you did, please consider leaving a like as it helps the channel out quite a bit, and subscribe for more recaps and other lore videos. Other than that, have a great rest of your day, and may the Force be with you.